Prior to coming to the GSB, I worked for a healthcare not-for-profit on a campaign to spread best practices in U.S. hospitals.
I went to Harvard undergrad, graduated in 2003, and worked in finance for 4 years, so most recently in investment management. So I worked for a firm that bought commercial and large multifamily projects for institutional investors.
I was working for an airline in Central America, and I was as part of their strategic development group.
I was working in New York for a book publishing company. So I came from the media world, and I worked as an editor for a couple of years and then was in the marketing department there.
I was a legislative advocate and a campaign manager for the Natural Resources Defense Council in Washington, D.C. So I worked on enacting federal energy policy and climate policy to advance clean energy in the United States and to establish regulations to govern greenhouse gas emissions.
I worked as a consultant at the Boston Consulting Group in Dallas, Texas.
So I come from a very non-traditional background. Before coming here in September, I had been living in China and working there for 6 years. So I loved what I was doing in Asia, but I definitely felt like I didn't have a deep enough business background, the fundamentals. I'm not a finance guy, not an accounting guy. I had real life experience, but there were a lot of fundamentals that would have helped me sort of think bigger picture about what I was doing.
Prior to coming to the GSB, I was working in London in finance and investment banking at Citigroup.
I am a mechanical engineer. That's what I studied before coming to school. Then I worked in an internet startup in the 99 boom. It didn't work. So I then joined a public relations firm as a sales and marketing manager, and then I took a CEO position in the public relations firm in Chile.
Before coming to the GSB, I was a relationship manager for Wachovia Bank, and I worked down in South Florida, and I covered the Miami area.
So I came from China. I was born in Beijing, and I went to University of Illinois for PhD in mechanical engineering.
I was working in Brazil for a large conglomerate there in mainly corporate finance and mergers and acquisitions.
I worked at Rosetta Stone, which is this language learning software company. And while I was there, we helped grow it 10 times and then sold the business to private equity. And it was a great operational role. I managed finance and then for 2 years managed product development. And you know, it was kind of funny actually coming to the business school from a small company background. I think most people are trying to leave the business school and go into a small company. And I was coming from a small company, and now I'm going into consulting. So I think I'm kind of doing the reverse path of most people.